7 seconds. All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we give all honor, glory, and praises due to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem Rakakadash. Also, want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who's teaching this truth and sincerity, and also who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered four corners of the earth. You know, you so-called Negroes, Latino, Hispanics, Native American Indians, the true Israelites. You know, this is some news that you can use if you are a sincere listener, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, in this gospel and the bad times to come. All right, this is the brother Yuanathan from GMS Detroit, just back at you with another lesson. All right, so I think a video or two ago, you know, I was talking about the scales is tipping against Eve, but now we're about to, you know, I'm gonna use cold words. I'm gonna call him Eddie Edom, and you know, just having knowledge of what we preach. You know who I'm talking about, okay? Because now this man is being found out, and he's moving sloppy. All right. So I got some scriptures because, you know, man, the Lord is the ultimate chess player, man, and there's no way that you're gonna one up him. All right, so that's why, you know, for everything that's being exposed, and we all kind of looking at who the culprit or the criminal in the room, you know, now these mofos are moving sloppy. So I got this one, in Revelations 12:12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, woe to the inhabitants of the sea and the earth." See the earth, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And you can see how this system is getting worse and worse. Just how they're moving, how this system is through all these deployments, the getting troops, you know. Hey man, it's going down, but we all see him being exposed by his unrighteous decrees, his own technology, so on and so forth. So let's grab that. Grab Daniel 12. And 4, it says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." And you can see that, you know, knowledge is now on a higher scale. You know, they got, you know, weapons that can split atoms, even all the way down to like a calculator, so on and so forth. But even the things that Esau try to hide, it contradicts him. It exposes him that, you know, how they try to discredit the things in the Bible, and even just how they push the educational system where they don't go back into biblical ancient times. Everything is usually just how, you know, it probably start to when Columbus, you know, discovered America, but what happened all before that? What happened in the Roman captivity, the time of Yahweh Shai, you know, the Greeks, the same, you know, the Persians and Medes, all the way to the Babylonian time. See, Esau don't want to get into that because you will see that we know who that physical Satan is, and that's why you look at the Apocrypha, it makes more sense, and that goes to show that you guys are devils too. because what does Revelations, the 22nd chapter says? So let's grab that. Because if you know anything about scriptures in the Bible, in the history of the Bible, first you know it was stone tablets, then you would know that it was scrolls, then it came into a book. But you actually, people like, your typical Christian will just think the KJV was the first edition. No. When you see certain men on the highways and byways, you ever see them, then you might see them with the KJV and the Apocrypha, or you might see them with the KJV 1611, which was the Apocrypha that was in it. So this is this is Revelations 22, and let's get to the point. 19. And it says, if any man shall take away from the word of the book of this prophecy, Yahweh shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. So, you took out the Apocrypha, and then when you actually, I was watching this documentary about the slave Bible, you took out even more things in that Bible. That's why most of you Jakes out here, especially like your grandmother, your grandfather, they into that hardcore Christianity Bible, because look what you did. That was another way for you to have control over Jake. All right, but that, having television, want to search out history, you finding out that you guys are nothing but the devil. Okay, so I got some other ones queued up. Let me see. I want to get Luke 12:2, because there's scriptures that talks about the hypocrites, or being exposed. So let me grab that real quick. And the Lord is like unveiling the curtains that you guys, man, are the problem. The book of Luke. It's the book of Luke 12:2. It says, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. So all these things is going to, eventually is going to be a point where all your secrets are being exposed. All your hidden things are going to be revealed. We know who runs the world now. We know it's not just DJ Trump. We know that he's just a puppet. He's a front man. What else you can use an example for? Just how the industry is, the pharmaceutical industry, the Hollywood, things to that nature, where we actually see this weird is way more than what I see. What's it called? This is like the iceberg effect. You'll see something. You'll see the iceberg at the top, but you don't really know what's hidden underneath, how big or how small it is. But now it's being exposed to what it really is. This one queued up. Here we go. Let's see. We can start at 12. This is Proverbs 28 and verse 12. When righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory. But when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. But here's the point 13. He that covereth his sins shall not prosper, but whosoever confesses and forsaken them shall have mercy. Okay? So, and that's another thing. That's another reason why Obadiah is in the scriptures, because because Eddie Edom, he ain't gonna repent. You know, he's gonna try to keep going on with his agenda, man. That's why you guys got to be done away with. That's why they have the book of Obadiah, just to show what's going to happen to that specific nation. Okay, grab another one. And it says, this is Ecclesiastes, verse 12 and 14. It says, for Yahweh shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. All right, so we know what this character, Edom, plays. He's going to be on the side of evil. So, you know, there's going to be a judgment for you to come, for the abominations and for the generations of iniquities, and especially what you've done to the apple of the Lord's eye, man. What you did to the Israelites, man. And like I said, just all through things, man. Your own technology is going against you. You know, when you look at that one account. This is let me grab that real quick. This is Second Maccabees. I'm sorry, First Maccabees. Dang it! Oh snap, man. Slack here. Second. I'm gonna roughly paraphrase it, but when you get to the book of First Maccabees 3 and 48, it tells you that the heathens has sought to paint likeness of their images. Yo, that's when you had that one account, I believe, was it the UK, where they went to the museums and then they were seeing that the true Israelites were melanated, dark-skinned people, you know, men, and they started, you know, burning their Bibles. So that's one one thing you can take into record. And then when they found that that boat in Turkey, you know, another technology and another scientific practice that Edom got is carbon dating, to tell how old something was, even before, you know, it died. Any organic material, all right, and they just exposed, like, they were like, yo, this gotta be Noah's Ark. So with that showing that you're being exposed, but it's letting you know that the Lord is exposing himself and letting you know. You got the chariot sightings. All these chariots are mostly found over here in America. You know, you got all these prophecies happening in America, you know, so on and so forth. And, you know, you can see all the turmoil, you can see all the conflict that's going on in this place, these other nations getting mad at spiritual Babylon. So you can't say that you know, you motherfuckers you guys are the motherfucking devil, man. And like I said, you're getting exposed. Even like through, again, when I said the way you were teaching, once you go into history in your so-called educational system, once you look past it, then what they just teach you do elementary, middle, high school, so on and so forth. You notice like what happened when MLK. Then you can go further back to, you know, the transatlantic slave trades. Here you got Deuteronomy, you know, yokes of iron. Because look at Judah, man, they had it the worst. Then you had the Trail of Tears. Look what happened to Gad, man. Look what y'all did to the so-called native, and this is their land too. Let me grab this one and I'll end it off on that. So let me get John. Because you gotta understand, when you come to the scriptures, it comes, you gotta have the receipts, all right? So this is John 10:10, one of my favorite scriptures. It says, the thief cometh not, but to steal, and to kill, and to destroy. I have come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly, all right? And it says, the thief cometh not, all right, but to steal. And let's look at that word steal. What did you do to the Native Americans? You stole their whole land, and you put them on reserves. Gad, Reuben, and some of the other northern tribe. And to kill, like I said, you got the Trail of Tears, what you did to the slave trades to the Southern Kingdom. Just man, you got blood on your hands. Let me see. And to destroy, like, everything that you create, man, everything that you do is just always going to end up to death. Our air polluted, the water polluted. So is our air. Food, GMO. Medicine, not really medicine. You can honestly even call it poison. It's for all the side effects that it has. And it says that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly from all these things that you've done. Look what they got you on top now, right? But nevertheless, that's why, hey, what does the scripture say? You know, Esau said, any of the world, and Jacob is the one that followeth, roughly paraphrasing. So, hey, he's about to be over for you. You know, once the Lord come back, crack them clouds. Oh, it's raps. But Lord, I hope this video is edifying. Again, I give all 100 million praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Again, double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, teachers, strength, and sincerity, and also rule well. Peace, salutation to the whole full elect. Close out, say shalom, and on to the next lesson.